First YouTube book review, go. How do we look and sound? Thank you for being here. Wow, look at us. YouTube. We're talking about books. And we're going to talk about The Year of Magical Thinking by Joan Didion. Man, Joan Didion really done did it. Hey, this is my first book by her. And instant cry. First, I don't know, so quick. The tragedy, the grief, so fast. I said before, I'll say it again, the quickest start to cry ratio I've ever encountered. It's a memoir, coping with death, her grieving, her writing to kind of figure out what's going on in her brain after losing her husband. It turns into a reflection of all the good moments and the good memories of her life, but not always so good. Things will trigger memories. She tries to avoid thinking about things. She's trying to avoid triggers to make her start thinking about painful things. This cover is so beautiful. It's so pretty. I just love it. The pain that this pretty little cover holds inside is astounding. It really blew me away in terms of who Joan Didion is. She's an amazing writer, and I can't wait to read more. Now, a lot of bad stuff happens in this book. She talks about how she likes to control everything in her life. She usually controls things by getting knowledge. She'll get a book about a thing and learn everything about it. She feels like she can control the outcome. What the book is about is her realizing that the universe or nature is completely indifferent to human life, and there's nothing that she can control. No matter how much research she does, no matter what questions she asks the doctors, it's not really going to make a difference. And I think it's an important lesson, and it's true. However, it's through the lens of a wealthy white woman from the Upper West Side. She's a successful writer, successful screenwriter. She travels all over the world to write. She goes to Hawaii. And I can't help but to think someone else going through these circumstances would feel like. I mean, she has money. She has connections. She has friends who could help her. She has her best friend, one of her good friends, is one of the best doctors, and came to her to the hospital and asked all the good questions and made sure they had the best situation. She knows the hospital with the least busy ER. Most people don't know these things. I respect that she didn't hold back on the truth, but it makes me think, what about the rest of us? What if this happened to the average person? So many people are going through this alone. They don't know what to do. They don't know who to go to. They don't know who to ask. Her point is, it doesn't matter about all these things that she can or can't control. It all ends up the same. But I would say the moments in between matter a lot. And if you're stressed about money, stressed about knowing which hospital to go to, what questions to ask, you don't have anyone to help you, you don't have someone to watch some other kid, you don't have someone to watch your pet, whatever. Like, there's so many things that could make these moments more stressful that just I felt were glaringly obvious that Joan Didion didn't have to endure. I don't fault her for that. I think it's interesting. It's almost something to aspire to in a way, you know? It's like, okay, she got there herself. She earned it. She made the money, she wrote the books and the scripts, and this is where she's at. Here's the other thing. I don't use the word triggered a lot, but I guess I was triggered. And that's for me, not a negative thing. To me, it's not a bad thing. It makes you feel a lot of things and may take you back, but I think it's like a healthy thing. People, all different kinds of people are triggered by all different types of things that have occurred in their life. This is all of our experiences. But when you read a book that shows that someone else has gone through painful things, that's not a negative thing. It's comforting. As much as it reminds me of my experience, it's nice to know that I'm not the only one. And it's important to talk about the things that happen to us and not keep them locked up inside. I'm afraid of them. For someone to say, I'm triggered, therefore this is bad, I'm going to avoid this, that is to me terrible, unhealthy, not the proper way to live your life. The title of the book, The Year of Magical Thinking, the sort of argument that she makes in the book is that it's kind of a mental illness grief. You're not thinking straight. You're not thinking properly. It's like a temporary psychosis. She says that she was like delusional and she believed that she can make her husband come back. The way we get sentimental with objects, we won't throw away an old pair of shoes because it's like she really dives into what that means. Why do we hold on to things? It's a way to not move on, I guess, in a way. It's nice. I think it's nice to remember people by, not to just discard things like, oh, all right. So I think there's probably like a fine, healthy line, like to not hold on to too much. It's like, why are you doing that? Because throw out the shoes, it means he won't ever need them. He won't ever come back and use them. She talks a lot about nature and how when she was a kid, she was comforted by tsunamis and earthquakes. That nature doesn't have some grand scheme. You can't control it. It's all gonna do what it wants. You just have to relinquish control. There's nothing she could have done differently. You could go back in your mind and think, what if I asked the right questions? Were there signs? She talks about the circumstances surrounding tragedy and how we expect them to, there to be some hint, to seem like things are going bad, but really they're just unremarkable. Nature is indifferent to human existence, and it's just beautifully written and it's magical. I think it's very helpful if you're going through grief. If you could recommend this to someone going through something, I think it brings comfort. Again, it could be triggering. Know your audience. This is an exploration of grief. I'm going to be making way more of these videos. If you like this, like, subscribe, all that. Let me know what you think. Alright, bye.